Pulau Ubin is a beautiful small island located off the northern coast of Singapore. But on the 22nd of April in 1972, two young men, Yasin and Harun, 19 and 25 years old at that time respectively, went on to robbed. The victim is Madam Poon, a 58-years-old widow who stays and operates a provision shop on the island. It started when 19-years-old Yasin, who had already targeted the elderly woman prior, but it is unclear when did he plan to rob her. Before he started to execute his plan, he first approached Harun on that day of the robbery. Harun agreed to join him. He attempted to look for another man, but he rejected and said that he was not interested. The duo waited until night falls before they carry out the plan. They rowed a sampan from Changi Jetty to Pulau Ubin and went to Madam Poon's chicken pen, which was just within the compound of her house. They made those chicken make a lot of noises in an attempt to lure Madam Poon out. Unfortunately, Madam Poon unlocked the door and came out of her house. They caught hold of Madam Poon, covered her mouth to prevent her from shouting. Madam Poon was then forcefully dragged into the house, and Harun went to search for valuables inside the bedrooms, while Yasin was left alone with Madam Poon and sitting on top of her. Unknowingly to Harun, Yasin woman while he was inside the room searching for valuables. $40 of cash, gold ring, and 10 packets of cigarettes were looted by Harun to split. After Harun came out of the room, he was shocked to see Madam Poon lying motionless and asked Yasin what had just happened. Yasin admitted to Harun that he had her. After the duo realized that Madam Poon had already died, the duo immediately think of disposing the body. They brought the body to the sampan and they disposed the body into the sea before returning to the mainland. The body was discovered by a fisherman 2 days later. Prior to the discovery, the youngest daughter of Madam Poon had lodged a police report regarding her missing mother. It was presumed as a drowning accident case until an autopsy was conducted and was confirmed that Madam Poon was and had been.
The 9 fractures ribs that was caused by compressions to the chest and is sufficient enough to cause a cardiac arrest. Bruises and some defensive injuries were also found on the victim, including her thigh and. The case was remained unsolved until Harun was arrested for a separate case. He made a surprising confession to the police IO that he was involved in the at Pulau Ubin, and also named out Yasin as his accomplice. Police arrested Yasin the following day. The murder trial for the duo only started on the March 5 in 1974. But however, the duo claimed in court that the statement were not given by them voluntarily and said that they were threatened to sign the acknowledge forms. But all these claims were dismissed by the judges. Harun's charges were withdrawn and he faces only robbery by night charge and was later convicted and sentenced to 12 years imprisonment and 12 strokes of the cane. Yasin stood trial for and was convicted and awarded the death penalty. He appealed against his sentence but was later dismissed. He then appealed to the Privy Council of London. The judge of the Privy Council stated that Yasin does not have the intention of and had no knowledge of the injuries that he had inflicted to the victim will caused her life. The Privy Council revoked the death sentence for Yasin and reduced his murder charge to rash act not amounting to culpable homicide. This resulted in a retrial for resentencing and to stand trial for. Harun became a key witness during the retrial. Yasin denied that he told Harun that he had the victim. As there was no sufficient evidence to show that Yasin had the victim, therefore the charge will be reduced to attempted instead. Yasin was later sentenced to 8 years jail for attempted and will be backdated to February 10, 1973, the day of his arrest. And he is to serve another 2 years after his 8 years term for the rash act conviction. Yasin and Harun had since been released from prison since 1983 and 1985 respectively. This is a shocking case among Singaporeans and especially residents in Pulau Ubin. Thanks for watching. Please follow and don't forget to like and share.